Now, last week, remember, we answered the question about unequal yoke. Unequal yoke, now especially about, and the part about being in business partnership. All right? Yoke means, now you are tied together with another person in some form of contract or covenant. And, well, both of you are responsible. There is a responsibility in you. Right? So you can move things in certain directions. So the Christian should not be in unequal yoke in businesses, meaning to say you're in partnership with someone, and there are many implications, okay? Many implications of, you must be ready to take a stand. If the person says, we want to open on Sundays, or we want to sell certain things which you believe, because of a Christian principle, you do not want to support. So you get into all that kind of situations, right? So we studied that. And we mentioned something about, is it okay to be a dormant partner? Dormant partner. What's a dormant partner? Means, you're a dormant. You don't do much. Your main involvement is you provide money. You provide money. So in the instance of, some people say, we don't have enough funds, enough capital, and therefore we want more capital. So don't worry, you just put money here with us. We start the business. We'll run the business. You're dormant, right? Dormant meaning to say you don't need to be involved. Don't worry, we'll take care of things. Now, all right, so we mentioned that. Now, then we said you cannot. Now, remember why you cannot? I keep asking Wei Qian. Ask Thomas. Why being a dormant partner is still something very dangerous? Why?
The lesson was that they can still do things that we don't support. That's quite a fair few.
Okay, they can do things that you don't support, but it's all right, right? You're just dormant partner.
Yeah, they can describe to, for example, support LGBT and all that. So
Okay, you don't agree with it. You have to take a stand, right? Because you're using the Lord's money in this business, and then you must be ready to do what?
You must ready to pull out.
Okay, you pull out, but then there are penalties. You must be ready to do all that, right? So, for example, that's why it's never God's plan. In fact, God makes sure that the children of Israel do not enter into this by making certain animals that is very popular for them to use for business, cutting a deal. They eat as a way of sealing the deal. So they say, we can't eat this. We can't make a deal with you. All right? So those are some lessons that we learn. Now, so there is a follow-up question, which is this. Say, if we wouldn't be a dormant partner, because the money we are stewards of might be used for something unethical or unbiblical. All right, so since that's the case, then would we also say that investing in shares with Woolworths, for example, is wrong because Woolworths is open on Sunday? Do you understand the question? Means, I shouldn't be dormant partner is still a problem, correct, with unbelievers. But Woolworths, for example, they open on Sunday, and then should I buy Woolworths shares because then I'm a shareholder, correct? So what do you think? And then the follow-up question also is, now what about when we put our money in the bank and bank loans money to other businesses, right? So you say, I'll put my money in bank, and when you put your money in the bank, it's also used for some other things, loan to businesses, to maybe they run the casino, right? So that kind of thing. So is it then we shouldn't do that because I'm kind of like a dormant partner. I just put my money there, I don't see it, I don't know about it, and it's there. Now then, if the answer is no, means it is not wrong to invest in Woolworths share, you don't do anything, Woolworths shares, or put money in the bank, then how do we differentiate putting money in shares and loans from investing in 50% of a business without making decisions? So the question, as I understand it, is this. So if it is not wrong to buy Woolworths shares and put money in a bank and they do things which you don't like, and you're a shareholder, then if that is not wrong, then what is wrong then with, for example, being investing 50% in 50% of a business? Now, so you're a partner, 50%, you're 50% shareholder in that sense, but you don't do anything. So you buy shares, you're a shareholder, they do these things. So if that is okay, you're dormant, that's okay, then it should be okay to be a dormant partner, right? For example, investing in 50% of the shares. So what do you think? Do you understand the question? Okay. The only person that nodded was Phyllis. Phyllis, were you nodding, you stretching your neck? Or okay, you try. Wait, you understand the question? Okay. Not sure, but I don't understand the answer. I don't have the answer. Okay, fair enough. All right, Michelle, you need to change place now. My eyes always go there. My eyes always go there, which is you, or there, which is Wei Qian. Exactly. It's about that, that distance. And like that, it's about there. Unless I change glasses. Yes, try. You understand the question?
I have a similar question.
Then okay.
But mine's the other way around. Because we say dormant partner is not wrong, therefore is it wrong for us to invest money into banks or into other companies? Unless you were saying otherwise, because you were saying it's not wrong to invest.
It's both ways. So they were saying if it's not wrong, if it's not wrong to be dormant partner, then why is it wrong to buy Woolworths shares, for example? Similar.
Okay, so then we established that being a dormant partner is wrong because...
So if dormant partner is wrong, then why is it wrong? So is it wrong to buy Woolworths shares? Because you're kind of dormant as well.
I want to say no. But
You want to say no?
depends if it's Woolworths. Depends on the companies that you invest in. I think there is...
So Woolworths, for example, because Woolworths open on Sunday. You want to say no?
Yeah, because then if you're buying things from Woolworths, are you supporting them because they're open on Sundays? Then it doesn't...
Open another can of worms. Right? Right? Worms crawling everywhere. Young ones, do you understand? So if you buy Woolworths shares, if that is wrong, then that mommy goes to Woolworths. So you got no more those little toys, from Woolworths. No more. Mommy said cannot go Woolworths. Because Woolworths sell liquor, they have a liquor corner, right? Woolworths sells cigarettes as well, right? So you should not go to Woolworths. So the fact that you go to Woolworths, so you're saying the fact that we go to Woolworths, so the answer should be no. You infer from that.
Within a certain, boundaries...
Now what are the boundaries?
I don't know specifically, okay, I know Woolworths sell things, but there are also things within Woolworths that you won't support, right? Maybe in that sense that...
Yeah, so you don't support Woolworths liquor corner, but then once you buy shares means you're supporting Woolworths, right? Okay, let me ask Enoch. Please don't tell me you don't know what is Woolworths. You know what is Woolworths, right? Okay. You don't know the answer. Okay. You're going to have anything from Woolworths for lunch today? Okay, let me try. Maybe ask parents, okay? Parents. Difficult question for parents. Okay, this is a tough one, right? So, Howard.
I say we can buy them because we are not the majority shareholder, nor we exert control over what they...
Okay, so Howard says we can buy them because we are not majority shareholder, so we can't exert any. It's not. We are not in partnership. Okay. Jonathan.
I think it's case by case because if you're talking about 7, that's not meant for unbelievers to keep. So that's a different thing, but it's still a case of if you're investing shares in a company which is an affront to God, let's say they only focus on IVF, then you shouldn't.
Okay. So another answer is if they only focus on one thing, so for example IVF or gambling, and that is their major focus in making money, right? Then you shouldn't. Okay? Okay, last one. Accountants, people in accounting. Mabel. All right, so similar, if it's mainly on sinful things, then we shouldn't buy their shares. Okay. Now, maybe ask the very young ones. All right, maybe not so young. All right, Enoch. Isaac. Why do you always call you Enoch? You want to swap places? Isaac. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Enoch. Isaac. Next time I call you Enoch, you just... What do you think? Yes or no? Not sure. Okay, now, well, the answers are all correct. Well, at least the ones that have been brought up. Now, remember this. We are talking about unequal yoke. Unequal yoke means partnership. Correct? Partnership. So, now, Howard hit it right on the head of the nail. Now, to be a shareholder to the point where you're considered yoked means you are a partner. All right? To be a partner means you have the power, all right, to say anything. Now, and like your partner means you can be dormant partner, but you are considered someone with ability to exercise the power of a partner, for example. Now, I checked the key for Australia. All right, Australian ASX listed, Australian Stock Exchange listed companies. If you're more than 5%, you hold more than 5% of shares, you have obligation to file substantial holding notice. More than 10% of the shares, you have the ability to block compulsory acquisition. I know teens, sorry, these are quite complex, but go home and ask your daddy and mommy, all right? That's a test that they're listening, okay? So they have time to explain to you. Now then, more than 20%, you can be involved in takeovers, all right? More than 20%, more than 25% ability to block scheme of arrangement and resolutions, more than 50% ability to pass resolutions, more than 75% ability to pass special resolution, more than 90% entitlement to compulsory acquisition. Now, so it is, unless you are a huge majority owner, say 5%. Okay, let me ask, Phoebe, you think you can own 5%? 5% only, you know. You think you can own 5% of Woolworths? What do you think? Phoebe, yes? You cannot? Wow, so poor. All right. Maybe I try. Gracia, you think you can own 5%? Just 5%, you know? You know, like your exam, your test, 100 marks, you can get 5 marks at least, right? 5%, just 5%. Can you or not? You think? You can? You don't know. Now, as of now that we know, they are $16.2 billion company. All right? But you need to check how much shares. I checked it, but I don't know where it is. But basically in the billions. So Phoebe and Gracia is right. They are very humble. I think we are not so rich. All right? You're talking about billions, hundreds of millions of dollars to reach 5%, right? To reach 5%. So, well, can we really be in a state where we are a dormant partner, means considered as yoking, in unequal yoke with Woolworths? I think most of us won't be that rich, all right? So if you are talking about unequal yoke, we won't be, all right? We won't be. Now, but then there is the other aspect which many of you brought up, which is correct. Now then, does it mean that then we can support anything as long as by a small percentage? But we have to know that we also have to think if their main source of income and they mainly want to profit from gambling, IVF, or liquor, all right, that kind of thing, then, well, whatever percentage is not something that we should support, right? But these are not companies that main business and aim is that. So in that sense, that is why you still go and buy things, right? Otherwise you say, I can't buy things from Woolworths, right? So that is typically how we need to think. Now, I actually had someone who I knew, one of the pastors, right, long time ago when I first got saved. Now, he says he will never buy anything from China, right, because he believes that China is the red dragon, is the antichrist country and all that. So he said, I'll never buy anything from China, right? But you have to think, a lot of things that you almost, I went to buy a light bulb from a shop. I say, I'm foolish enough to say, is this made in Australia? You know what the shop people say? You tell me what is made in Australia today. So everything is made from China, right? So even the house that you live in, right? Many things inside the wall and the pipes inside the wall are from China, all right? So how do we rationalize that? Well, we have to think. Now, but remember. Okay, maybe I ask Yufei, all right, Yufei. Does the Bible talk about banks? You know banks, Yufei? Bank. All right. Does the Bible talk about banks? No. Okay. Try another young child. Elisha, does the Bible talk about banks? I'm not talking about hair, I'm talking about banks. Yes, sir. Yes. Bank is a modern thinking, right? Modern thinking. Now turn to Luke chapter 19. Luke chapter 19. Luke chapter 19. Verse 23. Now let's read together. Wherefore, then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury, right, with interest. So the Bible does talk about bank. The Bible has banks? There's banks, okay? But I don't think there's Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank or Bankwest, all right? But there were banks. So was Christ against banks, all right? The Bible is not against banks. And I'm sure then the banks won't be far significantly different, and they would be secular banks, and they would also invest in things now. So there is a difference. There is a difference in that sense in being unequal yoke. Now, but then there still remains this question. Wait, then does this question answer your question? You say you have a question, right? Okay, then. But there still remains the other part of the question which the person asked. Now, if the answer is no, so it is not wrong, then how do we differentiate? So you say, okay to buy Woolworths shares, okay to put money in a bank, right? If that is okay, then the struggle is this. Then what's the difference between putting money in shares and loans from investing in 50% of a business and I remain dormant? Because like a shareholder, I'm dormant, right? Then why can't I be a dormant partner? What's the difference? So I said put 50% and I don't make decisions. Since I can buy Woolworths shares. Do you understand the question? Okay, good. CP, you nod your head. Yes, CP then. Even if you're a dormant partner, you have a say to the directions and what they do. Okay, I understand that part. But your point is? So the person said, but I choose to be dormant now. Wow. All right. Young ones, do you understand the deep philosophy? The very deep philosophy. Choosing, don't use this on daddy and mommy, right? Choosing not to make a decision is already making a decision. Wow, okay, let me think about that. All right, choosing not to make a decision is already making a decision to do what? Okay, very good. Choosing not to make a decision. Means say I be a dormant person, I just put money there. You're already choosing to say that I will not say anything about whatever you are going to do, even if it is something wrong. So do you understand? You're still making a decision when you choose to be dormant. And we are talking about partner. Partner, like this person, 50% means you really have a power to say and to do something. In other words, it is, well, you know that it is sin, and then you say, I'm just not going to say anything, but I will use my money to put it there. And although and this is the part, I have the power to stop something, but I choose not to, right? So that's the difference. That's the difference. Let me see. Do you understand what's happening? I hope you kind of do. All right, for the older ones, you do. But go back and ask daddy and mommy, because one day you might be involved in that. Okay? So I think this is the reality of things. So you cannot say that I put, and just like Woolworths, it's different. Woolworths, number one, you're not a major shareholder. And if you one day become a billionaire, all right, and you decide to buy Woolworths share up to like 20-30%, okay, you also cannot say that I will be just a dormant Woolworths shareholder, right? Then you have to say, no liquor store in Woolworths corners, all right? No more liquor store, that kind of thing. So that's the situation. Now then there is kind of a follow-up question, which we kind of studied before. Now, then should Christians invest in stock markets as a means of being a good steward of the money God gave us? Okay, so wait, let me see. Do you understand what is stocks? Stocks and shares. I must make sure the teens understand. Grace at the back. Grace Wang. Do you know what is stocks and shares? I'm not talking about socks, not your school socks. Stocks. You know? Okay, then you explain to the other ones. What is stock? Or something they have in a store. Yeah, kind of that actually. All right, so yes, the company, they have stocks on the shelf. Correct. They have stocks on the shelf. But these stocks and shares, all right, young ones, stocks and shares means the company says you can buy part of our company's, I don't know how to explain actually. You can have somewhat of a share in our company. Then we say, all right, you pay, just now we say stock, Woolworths share is how much? 38 Australian dollar. You use 38 Australian dollars, you can buy one share in our company. One share in our company, all right? You can buy one share. So that is stocks and shares, okay? There's stocks and shares. Not buy the peanut butter on the stock, all right? On the shelf. So stock and share, right? So young ones. So this adult asks, can I buy stocks and shares? Because you see, when they buy a stock or a share, the young ones, you pay attention, because one day when you grow up, you have to remember this. You buy a stock and share, then you say, today is $38. Then maybe 3 weeks' time, it can be, $50. Then you make money. Then you buy many shares, then you multiply, you get more money, right? So you make more money as the share price go up. But the share price can go down as well, all right? So this person say, can I buy stocks and shares? Because I'm a steward of God's money, right? I must use God's money to grow and not to waste it. So is it okay if I buy stocks and shares? Okay? Now maybe I ask very young ones, what do you think? Anna Tiong, your sister, I forget her name. Clarissa, you want to try? Do you understand the question? So should a Christian say, I buy 10 stocks, then maybe the price will go up, and then I made money for God, right? Do you think Christians is okay for that? All right, very good. Well, the first one is, one of the reason is you have to ask is, what is your intention? What you want to use it for? Your intention. Right? Investing in stock and shares, one of the things that Christians have to ask is intention. Now, what is a bad intention, Clarissa? Okay, so you say, wow, I want to make more money. If I make more money, I want to use it for things that God don't approve, right? Use it for buying things that God doesn't want us to spend money on. So that's one. But this person is asking, being a steward of God's money. So you want to use it for God's work. What do you think? Let me see, John Chihunging. What do you think? All right, if you invest in a good company, maybe long term is better than putting it in a bank, is it? The price will go up. Okay. What do you think of May Tay? What do you think? Is it okay? Yes.
I think it depends on your intention, and also be careful that you don't become covetous.
All right, some people, they become covetous. They start off, they want to say, for God. Then after some time, wow, stock price go up. And then for me, right? So young ones, you remember. Now, but what's one of the problems with stock and shares? JB?
Stocks in particular is kind of like an informal gambling.
Informal gambling. It can be informal gambling. Means you don't check the background, all right? You say, what? Shouldn't say tikam, right? There's no such word in Australia. I just randomly, eeny, miny, any more, right? Which one will increase the more, right? Then you check. This one, okay? Then I say, this one, I just put money there and hope. Now that becomes gambling. Even you say, I want to invest for God, it's gambling, all right? Well, if you do your proper check and all that and check. Now, what should you check for? Now, the other problem is also this. When you say, I use God's money to invest, now then you also have to ask, like just now we said, well, if they say, hey, come on, IVF is the trend, all right? Or they're opening a new casino. This casino stock price will go up. Right? Now, if those are they are set up deliberately to do things which are sinful, then you should not buy into those stocks, right? In shares. So in that sense, you need to do that check as well, similar to the earlier answer. Don't have a gambling attitude. Don't want to make money over time and just use it for yourself. So these are things that needs to be examined very carefully. All right, examined carefully. Well, then the follow-up question, is it biblical for Christians to keep their money in fixed deposit to gain interest? Well, we answered earlier on already. Banks, now it is not a sinful thing to put money in banks. God did say, interest, you should put my money in the bank and at least there's interest. Okay? So now, but what about how the bank use the money? Again, those are not, when you put money in a bank, you are not entering into a partnership. Neither are they expecting you to enter into a partner for these things. Okay? So some of these things, I think, you have to exercise wisdom and so on. Maybe there may even be a situation where, well, if the bank promotes certain things very strongly, all right, then you may feel that in light of that, you don't want to be part of it. That is a call to think about as well. Okay, so that is what I can answer about unequal yoke. All right, it's about unequal yoke. Remember, and we learn philosophy today. Huh? Not making a decision is still a decision. Now, so last question for today is this. Now, this person say there is this person whose name was called Joah. 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 I just realized that's my name because at home when I was young it's Joah. Right? So I didn't realize it's Joah. Okay. Joah means, now in Hebrew it means Jehovah's brother. All right? Joah, Jehovah's brother. So there's this person who is called Joah in chapter 36 of Isaiah. We studied that. So this person asks, now why would a Jew, all right, name their son Jehovah's brother? Because Jehovah God does not have a brother. Quite a strange thing for a Jewish parent to call the child Joah, Jehovah's brother, when Jehovah doesn't have a brother. All right, so how? All right, Matthew, you want to try? Matthew, next round I'll answer your question. I was hoping to answer today about the Lord's Prayer. We'll try. Joah. So, will you call your son next time if God intends for you to marry? Will you call your son Joah, God's brother? No. Why do you think it's wrong? God doesn't have a brother. Not sure. You're thinking very hard? Or just, Don't know, all right. Or you just don't like the name, Joah. Now, what does Joah mean? Now, yes, it can literally be translated Jehovah's brother, all right? Jehovah's brother. Now, but this word can mean a few things. Yes, it can mean brother as in born of the same mother and father. It can mean that. Jehovah's brother, it can mean that. Now, it can mean a relative. Very often, brother in the Bible can mean relative, a relative. Okay, so, and it can also mean someone of resemblance, a brother, someone of resemblance, look alike. Now, but it can also mean helper, H-E-L-P-E-R, helper, someone who is help. I don't know about you, but in some places, when someone walk up to you, hey, brother, hey, brother, what are they trying to say? I need some help. Treat you like family, all right? Can you be like a brother to me? You say, what brother? You know, we are different colors even. What brother? Of course, when they walk up, when someone of a different race walk up to you, a Chinese, and say, hey, brother, you're not thinking, are you saying that we're of the same race? Of course not, right? You will interpret it as they are trying to say, would you help me, brother? So the word brother can also mean helper, all right? So now, I would say that the Jewish people will also know, I'm not saying, I hope that you will be the bloodline, same as Jesus Christ, brother. I think typically, now, many of the names are about God my helper, all right? God my helper, and so on. So the usage of this would likely mean to the Joah, would likely mean to say Jehovah helper, all right? Jehovah my help. Jehovah my help. So typically they would mean that. Yes, it is strange if they meant it to be Jesus my brother. Okay? So that's all I have time for today. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts. What church dropouts say. Why they stop attending church. Now please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view, they are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from